Welcome to Get to the Point, a show highlighting the importance of recreation and community, brought to you by the Keller Pointe. Join us each episode and be inspired as we bring you conversations with community leaders who share their experiences, expertise, and explore the role that recreation plays in sustaining well-being and success. What are we waiting for? Let's get to the point. Welcome to Get to the Point. I'm your host, Jessica Spahn, and we have a special guest today. But before I get to him, I just want to tell you briefly about We Scan Film. They are our sponsor. And if you have any old CDs, videotapes, old photos, they digitize them for you so you can bring your past into the future. Our special guest today, Officer Michael Fejes of the City of Keller.
Yes.
You have other titles though, right? Or is that your main title?
We'll go with that one. That's the easiest.
Officer Michael Fejes. Welcome. Thank you. And you've been here since 2000, right?
Yes, 24 years.
Okay.
Started when I was 7.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Were you an officer elsewhere, or was this your
Yes, back in Ontario, Canada, yes.
So collectively, how many years do you have?
Almost 30.
Okay.
28 and 29. Yeah, 29.
Okay. That's exciting. It's so you come to the Keller Pointe. I originally met you at one of the health fairs because you're really you're an advocate for health and fitness,
yes,
well-being. And obviously safety and service and all the other things.
Yes.
So I just wanted to have you on chit chat about summer safety tips. We're going to talk about different things. Code Adam, something important. So we're going to touch on a few things. But first I want to know a little bit about you, a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So Keller, you've been here a while.
Yes. So I started off in patrol and,
And so that's the people who give people tickets?
Yeah, that's the people. Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Street officer out in the street and handling calls, all that stuff. Then I moved into traffic, which is specifically just doing accidents and tickets.
Okay. Okay.
Traffic enforcement, not tickets,
Gotcha.
but traffic enforcement, trying to change behaviors.
Yeah.
And then became a police instructor, and then became an alert instructor, which is an active shooter instructor.
Okay.
Acts of violence.
You got us at the Keller Pointe.
Yep. Then got on a SWAT team, was on a SWAT team for 7 years, and then became a school resource officer.
Okay.
Went into the schools, which is a real passion of mine. I used to be a youth minister, believe it or not. And
I could see that.
so the youth was, they're just, yeah.
You like the sports. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So, I spent a couple years in the middle school, and then went up to Keller High School and spent 7 years there.
Okay.
Probably the best job I've had in my 24 years here. So, but currently I came out of the school and now the community services officer for the City of Keller. And I handle all this kind of stuff, training, public information, social events, all that stuff. So
you're my guy. I mean, I met you. And
that's it. That's how we met. We met at that fair.
Yeah.
Remember at that health fair?
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up that's a big deal? Or do you have like any annual things that are like of great importance?
Sure. I mean, we have several events through the year. We have, Drug Take Back, which is a very popular event here in the city.
Wait, and do you guys, is that the same time that it's the Senior Center Health Fair? Or is that just kind of?
No, this is separate. We do it twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall.
Okay.
It's a national event put on by the DEA.
Okay.
And that is a real aid to people who want to get rid of their drugs properly.
Yeah.
We have National Night Out, which we just started last year thanks to the support of our chief Fortune.
And that's usually in October, right?
Yes. Well.
Or the fall.
Yes, we have it. It's across the nation. It's a national initiative. It's supposed to be in August.
Oh, okay.
But of course, the southern states are exempt from that because it's just too hot.
It is pretty hot.
So we've been allowed to push it back.
Okay, that makes sense.
With national blessing.
That's like the hottest time of year.
Yes.
Especially that time of day, this time of year.
Yes. And this Canadian bacon would fry.
Wait a minute. So it's all because of you that we push it back?
No, it's not that. It's just because of Texas, because it's just so hot. Texas, Arizona, I think New Mexico.
Yeah.
A couple of those others.
Sense.
Yeah, just in the Sun Belt.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I love the drug take back. My parents actually have a box of that they've been collecting, the medication they don't need.
That's how it works.
To be able to bring to those events. So if you guys have medication, the City of Keller usually posts about it, or the public safety.
Yep. It's always out there. Our city does a really good job promoting on their platforms information and programming, or even events, or instruction, or any of that stuff. They're really good at that. So the word gets out.
Yes, I love that. So you guys need to follow social media right here. The City of Keller Keller Public Works, a lot of other Keller ones, just put it in and you can find all the ones to follow. But as far as social media goes, I did want to bring something up.
Yes.
Back in early 22, I had just started and there was a creepy doll that was left on a bench.
Right.
And it became this whole thing.
Right.
I wanted to touch on the fact that like with social media and communication like that, it's important to have kind of an uplifting, a comedic tone at times because life's, a lot. So you guys in the public safety came up with a really cute, funny video, which I think it's still on probably the Keller Public Safety's page or the City of Keller's page. But do you want to talk about it or like?
Sure. I mean, it's just that
it was fun. It was fun. I liked seeing the humor.
Yes. We have to show a little bit of humanity. I think, unfortunately, police, especially fire as well, you get pegged into having to become stoic because we deal with situations that we can't show that kind of emotion. What you're trying to do is come onto a chaotic scene and bring with you calm, control. It's nice to be able to vent some of that pent up, either, sadness, sometimes, horror. You see some terrible things in this line of work. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's what it is. But the fact of the matter is, to be able to laugh and have an outlet, social media or things like that can be an aid to that. Yeah. It keeps the guys off the drugs and the alcohol and some of the negative addictions that unfortunately affect our profession. Yeah. So anything like that's healthy or happy or hilarious,
that's hilarious,
much better than the alternative. But we've done several videos, and credit has to go to James Intia, who took my job before me. He put a lot of those videos together. He had that real flair and the capabilities and the technology know-how to do that. But at the same time, you have to counterbalance that with, listen, you don't want to come across as some sort of buffoon.
Yeah, like you don't.
You have to really, it's such a fine line today because, life has become, our society has become so critical on so many facets. Pardon me?
I said either direction, no matter what you.
Yeah, no matter what. So you're damned if you do, if you don't. So it's something you have to really tread carefully.
Fine line. Yeah. And Keller does a great job of that. I just remember that was a really fun because I had only been here a few months. So seeing Rachel, who works as a communications for the city,
great job.
Being goofy about the doll. I think it was. Yep. It was a needed kind of little break, and I really appreciated being part of like a community that can also do that as well as the serious things in life. But okay, so on serious things, it is summertime.
It is,
and 4th of July is right around the corner. People take trips right now. It's the hottest time of year. People are swimming. So many things to have advice on, which I'm sure people can just Google too.
Yep.
But are there any of those things that you're especially more passionate about and would like to share some advice on?
Well, I think first and foremost, when you start to think about families and vacations and summertime and kids out of school, naturally, and this is just humanity, but naturally, the focus is fun. Yeah. Which is fun. Right. But, should something catastrophic happen or something, where somebody gets hurt. Yeah. That ruins the fun. There is no fun. There's no vacation. It's over.
So how do you advise, like, what do you have advice to kind of, I mean, you can't avoid everything. But.
No, you can't. But I think that number one, you have to be prepared. It's not about, you don't want to be paranoid. Right. Because that's not the right thing. Yeah. If you're paranoid, you can have no fun. Yeah, exactly. Right? But if you're prepared, you can still have fun. Yeah. Because all you have to do is have a plan, put it up on a shelf, and then do whatever it is you're going to do. If you need it, reach up and grab it. Yeah. At least you've got a plan. Okay. So I think kind of what you alluded to earlier there when you said, can you Google it? Yeah, Google it. Just take a minute and figure it out. If you're in a body of water, whether it's a lake, a stream, or the ocean, and you've never been there before, we always tell kids, feet first time. Yeah. When you jump into a body of water, it's always feet first first time because you don't know the depth. Like, you don't know the construct of what's underneath the water. You don't know the contents. Yeah, it could be stumps. There could be all kinds of things. Yeah. And this is where we get the paralysis, and we get the severe head trauma and serious issues like that. It's common sense things. Make sure they're supervised. Don't leave your kids unattended. These are just things that people, that's just a no-brainer. That's not really a safety tip. Well, don't do it. Yeah. And then see the result.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of times it's going back to the basics too, on the no-brainer thing. I think a lot of times you think you have it, so you're like, that's just basic. Yeah. And then you overlook that. Yep. So that's good to be mindful of. And
that's how accidents happen. Yeah. Right? I mean, that you shouldn't smoke in bed, let's say. That. But do people die in fires contained within their bedroom? Sure. It has happened in the past because, again, you don't plan this. Nobody goes out and wakes up and says, you know what, I'd like to have a car wreck today. Yeah. No. So.
I like it. Preparedness. Fireworks, though, that's coming up as 4th of July is around the corner. We've had a good start so far to the summer with a lot of rain. But do you have any firework advice that you would like to share? Or is that, again, just something people can find online?
Thankfully, to City Council and all the brains that matter there, I tell you what, this the fireworks that we have in our city,
year, right?
I believe it's our 4th year coming up. Yeah. This has been a great initiative. Yeah. This has just been fantastic. And it's so nice because, we had to share it with our big brother down here. Everybody was coming to South Lake all the time. And finally we started to do our own thing. And it turned out to be just fantastic. It's well received. It's well attended. I mean, everybody in the city, I think, is there. And outside of that, you take a chance with fireworks. Now we have an ordinance in our city, where you can't set off fireworks. Yeah. So I guess your best bet is to go ahead and come see it done professionally. Yeah. Get it all in your system. Either that or go across the tracks and set them off and let that be Fort Worth's problem.
Yeah. But really don't do that. No. Come to ours in Keller.
Oh, no, absolutely. Independent ones, yeah.
Okay, since we were kind of talking about a little bit more serious things, let's go with Code Adam and talk about preparedness. Oh. Because I know that we had a new hire orientation at Keller Pointe, and you came over and spoke recently. Mm-hmm. With all of our summer team who, is just there temporarily. But you spoke on the Code Adam and what that means. And do you want to explain any of that?
Sure.
For people to know?
So this was an initiative back in, I believe it was 1981. Okay. A gentleman by the name of John Walsh and his wife lost their son, Adam. In a tragic event. He was taken to the mall with his mother. They got separated. A predator came along, took his boy, did bad things to him, ended up killing him. And so the pursuit for justice took a long time. It was a long case. And anyways, John Walsh's loss turned into a very positive thing because he then started the program America's Most Wanted, which ran for, I don't know how many
years. Show freaked me out when I was a kid.
But it brought so much attention.
I was paranoid back then, nation,
actually. To these kids about safety.
It did.
About these predators and how to track them down and who were they, and gave updated information on them. So it turned into something very positive. Now, if I recall correctly, what I read was, I believe Walmart was one of the first big corporate businesses that started this Code Adam, where if a child was separated from parents in their store, they would call out Code Adam. Okay. And the doors would lock, and there'd be a search and all that good stuff. So it kind of started at the grassroots there, and now it's kind of over the years and decades, it's kind of reached out into the healthy green fields of people who care. Yeah. And they've implemented it even at the point. Yeah. So it's a great program. Again, it just lets people know right away that there's been a separation. A child is missing. Time is of the essence. Yes. Every second and minute that ticks by puts us at a disadvantage from a police perspective in finding and reuniting those children.
I'm glad to hear that. I like that it's had a positive impact on things.
Oh, absolutely. It's from sad. Something so negative.
Yeah. I was like,
grows flowers and becomes something that we can all enjoy is just great.
Well, okay. You and the firefighters started out doing some competitions. I don't know. Is this your first year you're kind of getting after?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see you guys out of the point that much until recently.
Well, you know how it is. Cops and firefighters, same.
How it is.
It's like, it's a big family, big brother, little brother.
Like
No, big brother, little brother, I think.
Okay. Who's the big brother?
We're obviously the big brother. That's how this works. Because the big brother's got to go do all the hard work. Absolutely. And all the stuff like that.
Let them win once in a while, right?
And
so
the firemen
still feel,
they become the experts at cooking and gaming and sleeping and whatever it is they do when they're at the firehouse.
Shots fired, man. I think we're going to have them on the show next.
But you know what? We give it to each other because
it's fun.
And because we care about each other.
Absolutely.
I know a great amount of those guys, and of course when we do our alert training, which is active shooter training, we do it once a year. We have a big event where we have fire and police, and we do training. We have one coming up in July, and in the real world, we're both going to be relying on each other.
Yeah.
And they're great guys, and I can't do what they do.
Yeah.
When I first moved here to Texas, my apartment caught on fire and burned to the ground. Literally, like,
were you
burned
in
to
your
the ground. No, I was not. Okay. But I was not there, fortunately, but I lost everything. And I tell you what, when I broke through the crowd, I tried to get, I don't know why, I tried to get close to my building. No, I couldn't. It's not that they said no. The heat just was like something I could never, ever describe to anybody. But here, these guys were another 100 yards on the fire in their bunker gear, of course.
Yeah.
They just do things that I could never imagine doing. They're heroes. They're good guys.
Well, I love that. And I think this ties in well again back to the lighthearted side of life, because you guys are in it's a very weighty, what you both, being first responders, have to deal with all the time.
It can be. So there's good days, and there's bad days.
Well, okay.
There's good days and bad days.
On the good day, I want to get to that in a minute because it made me think of something. But I just wanted to say that you guys started at Keller Pointe, and how did it go so far? It was basketball.
So we started first we did basketball. Yeah. And they kind of caught us off guard. Because of course, they've got the time while they're at the firehouse, to shoot baskets and go out there and put plays, put plays together.
Sitting in the car with donuts.
We're jumping call to call, and we don't have time for that stuff. So they did win the championship at basketball at the Point, but so then we got serious. Yeah. And we said, hey, listen, how about softball? Yeah. And of course, we smoked them at softball. Yeah. We just
so what's them. Next? Are you guys
and then it wasn't over, because then we had a game of football, flag football. Oh, yes, we did it. We did it covertly. Covertly. And we had it up at Keller High School, and let me tell you, man, the beating was on. And so we smoked them there. So if you want to check the scoreboard, I believe it's 2-1 right now. Yeah, 2-1. 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. Now they're talking about soccer. Ooh. And
are you guys that fancy with your feet?
Of course, because we're on them all day long. We're not sitting in a big padded chair playing Game Boy or something.
That's true. That's true. I really feel like they're gonna have their time to come and have.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be chirping. Don't trust me. They're not gonna let this slide.
That's exciting. I'm excited. It's really fun to watch you guys be competitive though, in a very friendly kind of it is manner. But you make trophies and everything.
Oh no, we're serious about it. We're serious. Yeah, you have to, because what are you playing for? You got to put a skin on the wall. If you don't have something to put up on the wall, then what does it matter? What are we playing for? So we got to have a trophy.
That's true. Well, I'll throw a picture of that up for people to see. And then I think you guys can always go back and look on the socials too. That has the posts and whatnot. So so having more lightheartedness and whatnot, I saw a post recently, and it was Keller, and it was an officer was there were these kids with bicycles, and he was catching them doing something good.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. What's that about?
So we've partnered with 7-Eleven for several years now in a campaign that they run nationally, and it's called their 7-Eleven Slurpee program, where if we see kids doing the right thing, doing the safe thing.
Helmets. Yeah. I think it was bike helmets. Maybe.
Right. It can be a safety thing. Or it can just be that they're just being a good citizen.
Yeah. Trash.
Anything, just behaving and having fun and following the rules. then we get the opportunity to go ahead and hand all these kids a free Slurpee coupon, which they can take to their local 7-Eleven. They get the free Slurpee, especially in Texas heat. That's fantastic. So it's been a very successful program. All our frontline patrol officers have them in their vehicles, and it's been a good program.
So do any of the Slurpees end up with you guys?
No.
But one of y'all has like blue colored lips.
Then they purchased it. But what's really positive about that is that the interaction that comes with it through that venue, so you have the opportunity to go up and speak. A lot of times kids are intimidated by this big figure wearing all this gear and walking up. And a lot of times you got to remember that a lot of these young kids, their first experience with frontline may be negative. Mm-hmm. Maybe a negative event, something happened at home negative. Yeah. Even with fire, it could be a medical event. It could be a fire. It could be any number of things. So to see us in a interactive opportunity where we can say, hey, it's okay. This is just about fun, smiles, talking, joking, getting to know each other. That's where the value is. In that
so it's good to know. So parents, let your kids know this, so that when your kids see an officer, they don't run.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, should I give them a Slurpee coupon? And they're like, ah! They jump on their bicycles with their helmets and they try to run. No, they would never though, because you're an officer.
Right. Well, we got lights and sirens. We'll pull them over eventually.
That's we'll get them. Like, you've been Slurpee.
We'll get them. Yeah. You've been Slurpee.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts that you want to add about summertime? Any other safety thoughts? Any other preparedness thoughts? Anything else to leave?
Well, that's a whole other show because there's a million things there to talk about. But the fact of the matter is that if people, unfortunately today, people they get caught up in the here and now and immediate satisfaction in regards to what's on their phone and who's talking to me, what am I doing, what's going on out there in the world. They don't think outside their circle. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's where, hardship, trouble, and sometimes tragedy lies just outside the circle. And it just takes a little bit of effort to be cognizant, maybe even just be cognizant who's around you, what's going on. Lift your head up. Yeah. Don't stick it on their phone. Opportunists look for those opportunities, which are people who are ignorant to their surroundings, to the threats. Mm-hmm. And if they are distracted, they become a much better victim. Yeah. So just little things like that. But that's the key thing, is just be aware of your surroundings. Yeah. Know who's in it.
And I think to that note as well, there's something that I think is important as well, being present, because we are on our phones a lot and with social media and just always taking pictures and posting. So for me, I like to be intentional sometimes about not having my phone on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And being present, because sometimes, you go into like a wherever you're going to get lunch, saying Coco Shrimp just opened.
Sure.
In Keller. Great delicious. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, it's trouble. I love it. But, just like say hi to somebody. Like people they're kind of in those little worlds, and you just miss that. I feel like we miss that a lot nowadays. Just
the very social fabric of our society is framed.
We're involved anymore. It's interesting.
We don't even invest for milliseconds in strangers holding doors. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you? Just a word of kindness. Just even eye connection. For a minute. Even just eye connection to acknowledge there's another human being within your vicinity. So
and if you're a kid, you could get a Slurpee card.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
Well, thank you so much for doing this show. I just wanted to I have a special little trophy that I had made.
Thank you.
I've never learned how to gracefully give it to you.
Yeah.
Our guests. But it's from Whiskey and Film, who is our sponsor, and they help make the fun possible. And
that's fantastic.
Them. I usually close the show out with little weights, but I forgot them today. So we can just wave at the camera and say, all right. But also hold on, before we do that, do you have any other questions? Just go to the social media sites, City of Keller, Keller Pointe, all things Keller. So you'll find the funny videos. If you want to go back in time to what was that, 22, early 22, mid-April-ish 22?
Yeah.
Go down the rabbit hole. There's all kinds of stuff. You never know. But it was so great having you on.
Thank you.
And I'll say bye, I guess. Thanks, guys.